take number 3. First time, I was muted. We didn't get very far, only like 5 seconds in. Second time, difficulties. But I might have to cut this short today. Because what happened is, one, my mom's getting back to California. I need to go help her unpack pretty soon. And a tabletop game that I normally play on Thursdays has been moved to Sunday, which is today. And some crazy shit's been going down. I'll tell you the whole story later. It's a fucking doozy. So if I cut this short, I will make another video either later tonight or early tomorrow morning, like I'm making for this one, and post it on Monday. So you're not actually going to wait a whole week. Just like 5-10 hours, depending on whenever I put this up. So you're not going to be missing, like, there's not going to be a lot of time if this is short. Like, that came out very wrong. If this is a short video, you're not going to have to wait very long for the next part, which will be a full part, because there ain't nothing going on Monday. At least not early Monday. So let's go.
Industry. Spike had said he didn't understand the Earth Pony way until he had seen Philadelphia. Even now, with the ruins of the city looming on the edge of the horizon, I began to understand why. Industry had been the secret heart of Equestria since long before the war. How could you have pony-pulled trains without steel mills creating metal for the rails?
Such a big...
How could you have the tall skyscraper...
Oh god, it's lagging. I have such a big problem with that part. That was only one episode, and it weirded me out. Like, why do you have this big-ass train and you're getting like 4 guys to pull it? It would be a lot easier if you just got rid of the train car and just had the ponies. Like, come on now.
Of Manhattan without glass companies producing windows by the hundreds. How could a small town like Ponyville have a dressmaker's shop with all the finest fabrics without a textile industry? Still, most ponies had barely thought about it. Out of sight, out of mind.
Pause!
Living...
Oh god. Why is this happening? Exit the full screen. This fucking episode... It did this last time when we were quitting out the other... Last video, it fucking did this on this episode. Why this one? Oh no, I think Red Eye's trying to fuck with me. He doesn't want me to finish this. We're not going to let him win. But, actually, it looks like Rarity actually does most of her own fabrics, which is fucking weird. Like, that Zephyr Breeze video, like... Apparently she dyes most of her own fabrics. Again, you know, post-war, or not post-war, but the war, clearly, Applejack put heavy incentives on industrialization. Which, oh god, that would cause so much problems too. Because the more industrialized they got, the more automated they got, because they got robots. The more automated they got when the war was over, and it would have ended at some point. It really looks like both nations were at the breaking point. So, if the war didn't end then, well, I could go on, because if you see some of my other videos and you look at the comments, like me and Sir Arun get into a talk about how after war would have been, I pretty much think there would have been a 3-way civil war. Part of the reason for that is all these soldiers come home. What are they going to do for jobs? You can't go to factories. Those are already staffed and automated. You can't go to the fields because Applejack can print all these new mechanized agriculture. If the nukes didn't happen, Equestria would have been fucked anyways. Because there is so much going wrong that it can't recover. Like, this might have been the beginning of a either a Luddite revolt, because all these soldier ponies, like, they got no jobs. There's probably like no welfare that's been implemented. They got nothing. Like, they fought and bled for the crown, and the crown gives them nothing back. The ministries have given them nothing back, but instead they imprison family, they rip memories, destroyed the culture. Like I talked with Sir Arun. thing is, I know how you told me to pronounce it, but I keep in my head, I keep seeing how it's spelled, and it is not spelled at all like it sounds. But, anyways, like I said, it probably would have been a three-way civil war in Equestria, which it can't take. Like, Equestria was doomed no matter what. It was just pick your poison. Unless they, like, permanently increase. There might have been ways around all this massive unemployment, but I don't think it would have been good or even long-term feasible.
In the idyllic pastoral towns and halcyon cities of Equestria, it had been easy to forget. Unless you were a pony living in Equestria's single center of manufacturing, a mecca of earth pony industry, Philadelphia. I learned these things from Steelhooves. I had sought his knowledge when it became abundantly clear that we were heading towards something far greater than just a really big version of old Appaloosa. Because less than halfway between Manhattan and Philadelphia, my pit bucket started picking up broadcasts from Philadelphia. It was the same musical programming the Spritebots kept playing, interrupted occasionally for messages from Red Eye. But now that I had a constant feed, I realized those little speeches were far from frequent, and carried more substance than I had assumed. Now, Red Eye was able to talk to me as he did to the ponies of Philadelphia, and his words worried me. A lot. We have Uncle and Aunt Fruitcup, a peaceful and loving couple, married for nearly a decade now, living in their quaint little house with their tiny garden on the outskirts of Roma. No children, 2 dogs, and a sunflower that Aunt Fruitcup has named Celestia. What kind of monster, I have been asked, would root up Aunt and Uncle Fruitcup, tear them away from their peaceful, pointless lives, and set them to work hauling carts heavy with scrap metal? A monster indeed, but one with his eyes open and cast upon our future, the future of Equestria. 200 years ago, we lost our great nation, but we will have it again.
I clicked pause! It's Red Eye. It's him. He's fucking with me. That, totally the only explanation. 'Cause seriously, it's only this video that's been doing this. But I can already tell what this guy's kind of is. He's the kind of guy who makes bullshit about the better future for, like, you must work for, like, let's use some modern examples. Minimum wage. You know, for the betterment of the future, for your children, so they can live in a better world. It's bullshit. It really is bullshit. Like, I understand the whole thing about making the world better, but, like, ends don't justify the means. They don't. Sometimes they can. It really does depend on your end, but stuff like this, the reason it's bullshit here is because when will it end? When will Equestria be good enough for the children? When will it be perfect and good enough? When will you just stop enslaving people? When will you stop working people to death? If that's what Red Eye's doing. Because it was the other person. I already forgot the person's name. They only brought up once. Or, well, a couple times. But it was a while back. So I don't remember the names. Whoever was going through slaves like you wouldn't believe. But the point is, it's not going to be in Red Eye's lifetime. Unless he has some way of becoming immortal. Which I would call bullshit on. Unless it's very detailed and I learn about it. Yeah, I'm sure there are ways to become immortal. Like, he could pull a Mr. House. But, yeah, Red Eye ain't even close to how awesome Mr. House is. Okay, so I definitely would call bullshit on that. Because just that one sentence alone says a lot about, like, and how bad this plan is going to be. Because it's not going to be completed in his lifetime, because he's just mortal and he's going to die. He builds a culture based around slavery and enslavement in the weak, and constantly kind of reminds me of the Hellgast from Killzone a little, when they were finally fleshed out more in like the second and third games. Second game was the best. just constantly working, improving with the idea that, oh, like, it's another 1984 reference. That's what I'm thinking of, 1984. This brings up a lot of 1984. It's, you know, it's been a long time since I read 1984, so I can't bring up as many quotes as I want to bring up. But that's the feeling I'm getting. Because maybe Red Eye... I just thought, like, maybe Red Eye's a true believer. In that case, he's fucking terrifying. Because there's nothing more terrifying than a true believer. Like, like, Red Eye could just be bullshitting, and it could be like the party or Big Brother, or maybe he's a true believer in this shit. In which case he doesn't, he wouldn't see how bad it might go. It will go. Because I want to talk more, but I should listen more. You gonna work?
What would the fruit cups and their little homestead be in 200 years? Nothing. Meaningless. Not even hoof notes in the annals of history. But what will have meaning 200 years from now? This factory. And it is from this factory, and the others like it, that Equestria will be rebuilt. It is from the work that Uncle and Aunt Fruit Cup do now that a new national infrastructure will be created, and a new golden...
Pause. I'm an industrialist, but... How do I explain this? Or how do I phrase this? Because I know what I want to say in my head, but how do I get it out? Industry is a means to an end, not the end itself. Red Eye, not only is he all about legacy and you work so, or like in horrible conditions, you'll be chained and enslaved, but we do it for the children and the future. You can tell how much I hate the line "for the children," right? I fucking hate it. I fucking hate that line. Because it gives people the idea that they could get away with so much shit when they do it for the children. Because, no, you're not. That's an excuse. You're not really doing it for them. You're doing it for yourself. Or you're really a true believer and you can't see that it's bullshit. Like, again, this is one of my biggest problems. I always know what I want to say, but it's so hard to get out. But, again, I'm a big on industry and industrialists and all that kind of stuff. But it's not the end. It's the means to the end. And when someone goes, industry for industry's sake, that's the problem. That's what Lord of the Rings was with Isengard. Isengard and Sauron represent industry for industry's sake. And as much as I love Isengard, I would never fucking do that. Like, that's sustainable industry is what I'm for, not the over consumption that like Isengard represented and what Red Eye kind of represents. Like, a lot of things I'm seeing, again, I can't blame the characters because, one, we haven't actually met Red Eye, so I can't judge him on his own merit. Well, no, that's a lie. I will judge him without meeting him because I don't fucking care. But at the same time, I need to know if he honestly believes in what he's saying or if he's bullshitting before I can make the final judgment on him. I mean, he's an asshole no matter what. Anyone who practices in the enslavement and binding of their fellow sentient beings is an asshole. We're not even 2 minutes in.
Age will be born. The golden age of unity. Equestria will rise like a phoenix from her own ashes. But not without our help. And not without our labor. This is what is important.
I could stop here and talk too, because this brings up a whole nother thing about Fallout.
This will last.
No, it won't!
The words of Red Eye were met by the clapping applause of at least 100 hooves. The roar of the crowd was abruptly cut off, replaced by a gravelly voice. And there you have it. Red-Eye's speech marking the reopening ceremony of the Honest Steel factory. Word has it, Red-Eye will be making a return visit later this week to inspect the factory's output. And now for some music, starting with my favorite, March of the Parasprites. The broadcast began playing the familiar marching music.
I could
heavy
stop
on
and
tuba
keep
and
going
harmonica.
about even more stuff that I just
turned
came
off the
up with,
station,
but we
pulling out
gotta
my
get
igloo.
through this.
Red-Eye, it seemed, didn't live in Philadelphia, but he made visits, and one was coming up very soon. I informed my companions of this. Velvet Remedy was curled up on one of the bench seats of the Sky Bandit with Firelight sleeping next to her, a glowing patch of emerald and gold against her charcoal coat. I was amazed at how the Balefire Phoenix had stayed with her. Normally, even a pet bird would need a cage. Steelhooves nodded, not turning towards me. He had been keeping watch on the ground sweeping below ever since we had flown from the last rubble of the Manhattan suburbs. I tried to avoid doing that. I got some bad news, folks, Calamity called from in front of the Sky Bandit. She's starting to sag. Keep your peepers out for someplace to put her down long enough to swap out spark batteries. All I've got is dirt, rocks, and dead trees, Steelhooves called back.
Dirt works?
Nothing you
want
to land on out here.
Oh,
I floated out the binoculars and moved to the edge of one of the windows, braving the possible vertigo. What are we looking for? Steelhooves continued to scan the ground below. Any place the hellhounds are less likely to get at us. Hellhounds.
Diamond Dogs?
I recalled Homage as DJ Pony, warning ponies about hellhounds in the stretch between Manhattan and Philadelphia. I'd been picturing rabid dogs, like the ones Uncle and Aunt Fruitcup had, only vicious. Possibly overgrown and mutated, like the Bloodwings. Sure, the first time I heard of a hellhound, I would learn that just one could take out a wagon train of slavers. But then, so could I.
Also,
and I was hardly frightening.
Pause. I just had a thought. Industry requires at least some sort of educated worker, and you don't want to educate your slaves because that's when they start getting ideas. I mean, sure, educated slave populace can be kept in check, but you're going to have way more problems than if you do with uneducated people. And even if you're using the assembly line method, if one person works on just one bit and passes it down the way, they still need to have some form of education, which makes them more unruly. And if you're gathering this many slaves in one place with at least even some level of education, you're going to have a lot more problems. And it keeps doing this and keeps saying it's for the children, but what happens when those slaves had children? Are the children of slaves slaves? If so, what's the point of doing it for the children if they're just going to be stuck in bondage as well? This shit won't fucking that's the thing a lot. Now, let me talk about another problem that I said oh my god, we're not even 5 minutes in. Fuck it. This is why you're here. One problem with Fallout, and I might have brought this up, is that everybody always tries to emulate what the pre-war world. I get it. It would look like a golden age, when in reality it was a fucking dark age. Not as dark as it is right now, but considering everything that went down, it was pretty much dark age. That's not the way. I feel like I have talked about this, so let's not talk about it too much. But trying to emulate the past through any means possible, like Red-Eye might. Again, he might just be bullshitting and just be another warlord, but if he's a true believer, and that scares me, you can't do this. Isn't the world that Equestria was born into. It's not nice. It's not green. There's no, like, the water is poison now. The land is not bountiful or fertile. There are monsters of all types that prowl the world. War bands and raiders and warlords. This is not the world Equestria was born into. You cannot recreate it. It won't work. That's the problem with people with Red-Eye, if he's a true believer, just can't seem to grasp, is that you can't go back. You have to keep going forward. It's good to look at the past and remember what was, and try to emulate the good things about it. But you have to realize that what's gone is gone. You can't keep pining for it or wanting it or dreaming about it. You have to go forward. I keep thinking about Terminator 2, the whole line of, there is no fate but what you make. And I don't know why I think about that, because that doesn't really apply here, but it's what's in my head when I think of this. Maybe it's just a post-apocalyptic setting. I don't know. Let's at least try to hit the 10-minute mark. Oh, it's an hour long. We're going to be here a
even
while.
voice, however, betrayed a hint of worry. And nothing my mind had been conjuring up would even strike alarm in an ancient, steel-clad soldier. What are hellhounds? I caught a shiver pass through firelight. I suspected the answer would be something much worse than I had dismissed them to be, when even a nigh immortal bird was worried.
Yeah.
The suspicion was nailed home when Steelhooves and Calamity both turned to look at me as if I had asked what a gun was. You don't know what a hellhound is?
Nope.
Steelhooves asked evenly. And you decided we should all go to Philadelphia anyway, without finding out what lies between.
Well, you
Velvet
should
Remedy
have
chimed
told
in.
her. She's a vault dweller.
I've never heard of a hellhound. Steelhooves face off with a clank of metal on
Dude,
metal.
they're vault dwellers. Come
Calamity
on.
muttered something about
Oh, he's still on the
stable folk from
idea that
ahead.
they're like secret
You
operatives,
could
right?
fill us in, Velvet Remedy suggested. Or
Goddamn.
the two of you can just keep being melodramatic. Steelhooves bristled. The hellhounds, he nickered, are simply the most dangerous creatures in the equestrian wasteland.
Death Claws?
I'd rather face off against alicorns. Velvet Remedy and I exchanged looks.
Death Claws.
She deadpanned.
Oh, wait. Did you say they're not
Wow,
Death Claws, or they
informative.
are?
What are these things, a secret? I smirked.
I already forgot our conversation.
Calamity
in the
pushed
comments.
back his hat, glancing over his left wing at us. Either you folks heard about Splendid Valley? My yes came simultaneously with Velvet Remedy's no.
Wasn't that the place
While
on...
Hellhounds had not struck much of a
Hooffields
note in my
versus McCulps?
imagination, a terrifying specter of Splendid
Did you
Valley had
call
been
that
painted in
shit?
my mind by all the dark rumors and foreboding mentions of the place. I looked down over the ruined plains below, all brown dirt and blackened trees. I didn't like the barren landscape in the picture of Twilight's Athenium, but that had been before the end of the world. It could be. Is that what's between Manhattan and Philadelphia? Splendid Valley? Are we over it right now? I scanned for what could be
Where's the
Maripony.
Hooffield Fort?
A structure in the distance caught my eye. A large building topped with smokestacks. It looked fairly intact. Giant metal skeletons fanned out from the building in all directions, holding up lines of cable. Calamity barked a laugh. Oh, hell nah. Splendid Valley's closer to Ponyville than to Philadelphia. I was suddenly grateful for the slavers who captured me my first night out of the stable. Without them, what pony could say the direction I would have struck off in? But, what all do you know about Splendid Valley?
Nothing.
Well, that's where Maripony is, I started, trying to remember everything I had heard, all while wondering where Calamity was leading with all of this. Steelhooves was silent, which could mean that he thought that Calamity was taking us the right track. Or just that Steelhooves was Steelhooves.
Probably that one.
Maripony used to be there because of all the gemstones they mined out of Splendid Valley, but it was converted to something else once the gems were all gone. I licked my lips, trying to think of more. They stored all sorts of magical toxins in the caves underneath Splendid Valley,
Oh.
and it was the second place hit by a megaspell. Second place, huh? Calamity whinnied. I didn't know that.
No. I won't pause.
You're missing the most important thing. More important than megaspells, radiation, and magical toxins? I looked from Calamity to Steelhooves.
Well?
Yep. When the ponies decided to mine Splendid Valley, they had one small problem. The valley was inhabited.
Diamond Dogs!
Velvet Remedy's eyes widened. Wait, they mined ponies' homes? Not ponies, Steelhooves answered, interjecting. Gemstones meant magical energy weapons, crucial for the war effort. It was decided that the creatures living in Splendid Valley had to move. The valley belonged to the nation of Equestria, and it was deeded. I felt a rock growing in my stomach. Only not all the inhabitants seemed to get the message, and after ponies had stripped the place clean, several families moved back into those cabins. Back in To where the Ministry of Arcane Sciences was storing hazardous magical waste. And to where the zebras set off a balefire bomb. Goddesses, Velvet Remedy gasped.
Why set
And they
off one there?
survived? Those poor... What were they again? Diamond Dogs.
Yeah.
Calamity called back.
I want to see Big
I
Boss.
froze.
Where's Big Boss? I want to see
Wait.
Ocelot. Come on.
Hold on. Are you trying to tell us that the creatures that Rarity defeated by whining have become the most terrifying monsters in Equestria?
They lost their hearing.
Yep. I looked to Steelhooves in disbelief, but his helmet nodded. They're big, they're fast, and they're extremely aggressive. They have claws that can tear through armor like it was soft cloth. I've even seen one claw their way through an alicorn's magical shield. Fuck. Well, makes me glad we're up here where we can shoot them and they can't get at us. I paused. They can't fly, can they?
Nah.
Nope, Calamity said, much to my short-lived relief. But they can dig. Fast. And pretty much through anything. When
Reminds
they
me
come
of
after you, they can
Tremors.
stay on the
I
ground
love
till
that
they're all
movie.
right beneath you. Ground might tremble a bit.
I also love Diamond
That's all
Dogs.
the warning y'all get before
They
they
had
rend you
such
apart.
potential.
And they sure
such
ain't gonna stand
potential
around outside
that
where you
was
can shoot
wasted on one
at 'em.
episode.
Worse, Steelhooves asserted.
I'm
They're
glad you brought
smart.
them back.
These aren't animals like manticores or bloodwings.
No, they're intelligent.
They've gotten hold of magical energy weapons, reverse engineered them, and rebuilt them for holding in their claws.
Yeah!
They don't have the magic to create the new ones, but they slice their way into Splendid Valley Armory and stole over 100 weapons, all of which we can assume have been repurposed. So, Velvet Remedy said slowly, they can shoot us, and we can't get at them.
Damn straight.
Cocking her head towards me, she
I love.
snarked.
I don't know why I
Well, thank
love
you,
them.
little Pip. I adore the places you take me. What is this place? I asked, staring at a huge smokestack as I stepped out of the Sky Bandit and onto the broken roof of the building that I had spotted in the distance. All around, metal structures like the skeletons of standing giants stretched out across
Okay.
the plains, most marching
Pause.
towards Manhattan or Philadelphia.
Pause, goddammit. Thank you, asshole. One thing I want to say before I end this is that where is Red Eye actually getting the resources for his factories? Because Equestria is kind of tapped. I mean, they already admit they strip mined Splendid Valley of everything. So it couldn't have been the only place they hit for resources and strip mined it. You know, there had to have been lots of others that they just ruined in the just gorging for resources. So where's Red Eye getting his stuff? Okay, well, I mean, there's lots of wrecks and just crap laying around. I suppose he could use that, but that's only going to last for so fucking long. What's his better Equestria going to be when his industry has no more raw resources? Come on, answer. I don't know, but we did break the 10-minute mark. I am happy. This is going... I can understand why you were so eager to see this reaction, K-Cat, because we ain't ever going to leave this episode, are we? Only 11 minutes in. And there were moments I wanted to stop this. Again, like, you could see me. I actually reached over and almost stopped, but I had to pull back because I wanted to break the 10-minute mark. Oh, this is going to be a long one.